Hey guys, hope you had a good weekend. So I'm back with another video. This time is with the New York Pro. Usually I go over the top 5, but this time I'm going to go over the top 10 because I think there's a lot to cover. And this was definitely the hardest show for bikini of the entire year so far. And there's a lot of good stuff I want to cover. So before we get into that, I want to mention that all of these pictures were taken from NBC News Online. And a couple things also I want to mention. So I've gotten a lot of good feedback from these videos, and I'm surprised actually. About, I would say, 90 to 95% of the girls, there's a couple that haven't, but have actually messaged me after I post these videos and are like, "Wow, I really appreciate your feedback, and I'm going to try to fix it on stage." And a lot of them actually have, and actually have done a little bit better, looked a little bit better. So I'm really happy about that. I'm only doing these videos for educational purposes. I don't really, and for fun, to be honest. And I was talking to Laura Lee today, and I was like, you know what, like before before I made these videos, I would go through, the shows and look at the top 3 and, like, kind of maybe just scroll Instagram. But now that I actually have to give you guys an in-depth analysis of the actual videos, I'm actually learning a lot too, because I'm going through every athlete individually, looking at their past shows, looking how they can improve. And I'm learning things from my athletes as well. And of course, no matter how long you do any job, you can always get better. And I know I'm a good coach. I know what I'm doing, but I learn things every show, regardless of if my athletes are in it, or someone's on stage, or if it's a regional show or the Olympia. So, um, another thing too, yeah, last time I didn't plug in my headset, so this time I think I did, and I rewatched my video last time, and I do realize that I talk a little bit fast. So I'm gonna kind of slow it down, so you guys can better understand me. I realized maybe at the start of this video, I was talking fast as well. So from now going on until the end of the video, I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit so that you guys can understand me better, because I can barely understand myself sometimes. So, all right. So, yeah, also another thing I want to mention before I get into it is, uh, you know, usually when a pro athlete competes on the stage, they'll go to like the head judges after the show and kind of like, "Hey, what's wrong? What did I do, or what can I improve on?" And usually the judge will. It's impossible for the judges to like give you an in-depth analysis of what you can improve on based on your posing, your hair, your makeup, your fullness, how you walk. Like they can't sit with each athlete for 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So usually it'll be something simple. Like good advice will be like, "Oh, you need a little bit tighter, a little bit fuller," like basic things to like set the athlete in the right direction. But I feel like with these videos, I can actually like, look at each athlete individually, compare them. You know what I'm saying? Like show you little things that where they can do maybe a little bit better. And I'm not saying I'm an Olympia judge. I'm far from that. But I mean, I have a decent understanding. So, I think it could be beneficial for the athletes. And my goal isn't to ever bash the athletes. No, I haven't had any comments like that at all. I'm saying that's not my goal. I'm never trying to like put athletes down or try to like go against the judges, and that's not my style. So I just want to do this to help you guys the best I can, and it's fun too. So it's fun for me as well. I really enjoy it. So all right, let's get into this first. A lot of this is going to be about Ashley, guys, because there's a very interesting things going on here, to be honest, which I really like. And I've said this 14 times now, but one more thing I want to mention. I swear, um, in my opinion, I feel um, the best eye for bikini that we have in IFBB is Tyler Mannion. He like, if you guys want to learn about bikini, you could obviously look at the Olympia and all the pro show stuff too, but look at the shows that he had judges. Just so consistently like judged to perfection. He has such a he's if you guys don't know him or you're an amateur watching my video, he's the vice president of IFBB, also like one of the top Olympia judges, and he just like his eye for bikini is close to flawless as it could possibly be. So he is my go-to for learning and improving, and I feel like he's the most consistent judge by far. Obviously, all the pro judges are excellent, but he knows bikini like unbelievable. So he had judged this show as well. I don't think I've ever disagreed with one of Tyler's decisions. Even just because I just look at the pictures, or I look, or when I'm at the show, and I'm like, wow, he really like. It's very impressive. Like I mentioned this back in another video with Ashley and Ashton, where he like reversed their placings at back-to-back shows, and it was so precise and so meticulous of why he did these things, and it was just like it really impressed me. So if you guys want to learn about bikini, check out Tyler's head judge when he head judges shows, and you're gonna see some really like accurate and good bikini eye judging. So yeah, that is my 2 cents. So let's get into it now. I promise you guys I'm not lying anymore. So Romina was the winner of the show. Um, I really like that because she's really improved over the last year. She kind of like fell off a little bit in 2019, I would say, maybe, and they kind of came back in 2020. She won the New York Pro actually, I believe in 2018 or 2019. It was one or the other. She won the New York Pro. That was actually one of the first bikini pros that I saw, like when it showed. Like that's kind of when I started coaching bikini, and it's been about 3-4 years since I've been here. And yeah, she won. So now I'm sure it feels great that she won it again. Just Romina has so much muscle, and it's funny because last show I mentioned even a few days ago that she competed, and I said that she has one of the best back shots in the world. And this is she just won New York Pro with her back shot. So I mean, I guess that fell into place as it should, and this proves my point. So she won this show with a flawless score. I checked the scorecard, and I believe that was very accurate. I'm going to show you why. So I mean, the back shot it can't really get more perfect than this. To be honest, it's like super full, rounded at the top, rounded on the sides, perfect. This is perfect condition. There's not much more she could improve here. I still think the upper body is a little bit too big, a little bit, because if you're going to look at the top 5 Olympians, she has bigger upper body than all 5 of them. And yeah, I mean, this is perfect. This is the best Romina Bass that we've seen in 2 years, hands down. So really congrats to her. I really like this new hair too. I like this suit as well. She did dye her hair, I believe, this year. It's like a lighter color, and it's really nice too. Hair, everything, makeup. This was her show to win, and she won it, and that was really awesome. So I'm going to show you why Ashley lost. And I was looking through the pictures, and like I literally spent an hour looking at pictures of Ashley after this show, and it's like this is such a crazy scenario that she's in. I'm going to explain to you guys what I mean. So this is Ashley. She looked great again. But so the last 4 shows that she's done, the last maybe 3 shows that she's done, she's came in flat. And a flat Ashley isn't flat for a normal athlete. Ashley has so much depth and density in her glutes that she's able to come in a little bit flat and you won't really notice it. Like usually if an athlete comes in flat, their glutes will be like sloppy pancake. You'll never ever see Ashley with a pancake butt. It'll never happen because there's so much density there that no matter how like filled up she is or how flat she is, she's always gonna have glutes, and that plays to her advantage. But the thing is with Ashley is I if I was her so if I was her coach at this point, like they're doing a great job and going through, but I don't know what I would do because she is, I think, like the only bikini athlete that I've seen that literally needs to time her peak based on who she's competing against, which is crazy. I wouldn't ever advise any athlete to do that. You always should go on the stage, your best regardless of who is on that stage. But I'm going to show you guys why I think that Ashley needs to time her peaks and her flatness and her fullness based on who's on the stage, which is a crazy concept, but I peer reviewed my analysis and I got some definite agreements with this. So I'm gonna show you what I mean here. Okay, so Ashley hasn't been against anyone very muscular the past 3-4 shows. The most muscular one she's been was against Ashlyn. But yeah, besides that, she wasn't with anyone like with a ton of muscle like Romina. Like this is the first time Romina put a challenge up for her because Romina is very muscular, and Ashley she used her strategy the last 3-4 shows. She came in flat like she did, and it worked up until now because she faced someone who was very full and very bubbly, and it kind of made her fall down a spot because Romina outshined her. I'm going to show you what I mean. So, top 4 front. So you're going to see here. So this is the front pose, both of them together, Ashley and Romina. You can see here, like I know you guys might be like, what do you mean Ashley's flat? But look at this, like look at the leg, right? Look at the glute, look at the shoulder. Like this is a flat Ashley compared to Romina. She's popping, the quads popping, the glutes popping, the shoulders popping, like, and this is a flat Ashley. Like, you can see the difference here between flat and full, and this is why Romina won. But the problem with Ashley is she needs to come in flat if there's not someone in a show that looks like Romina, or she's going to look too big. So let me give you an example of that. So last year at Tahoe, right, she was against Casey, and Ashley came in so full, like crazy full, and Casey beat her because she looked too big compared to Casey. So like Casey is like taller, longer limbs. Ashley's super full here, super full glutes. And Casey actually beat her because I believe Ashley looked too big and too hard, too dense next to her. Now, if Ashley brought this Tahoe look against Romina, I feel like she would have had a much better fighting chance against Romina. So it's such a, it really sucks to be honest, because like it's just like, okay, well, who's doing this show? This is my opinion. I don't know if it's factual, but based on what I've seen, and I'm going to show you guys some other evidence of this too. Like, this is Ashley at this show, right? Flat, you can see, and these are two fullest Ashleys I found. This one was, I believe, 2019 Arnold, and this was I think last year, like a Legion show or something. I'm not sure. So, like, you can see the density in the legs here. Look at the density. Like, even her core is like super dense. Shoulders are popping here. So this is today, and these are two past shows. So these are super flat, full Ashleys. If Ashley brought this look against Romina, I think she might have beat her, or it would have been a lot closer. But the problem is, if Ashley brings these looks against these smaller girls, she's going to lose. So it's just like, it's a double-edged sword. She kind of needs to time her peak if she wants to be consistently beating, whoever's at the show. And that's a hard thing to do, guys. Like that, I have never had to do this in my life with an athlete competing in bikini. And you shouldn't really have to do this with any athlete. But I mean, I feel like this is the only, like Ashley kind of like wins threes and then like lose a couple, like wins three, wins two, then lose a couple. I feel like if she needs to time her peaks based on who she's competing against, to be able to be consistently win all the shows in a row. Like, so at the Olympia, the top four girls this year. So, well, let's say Jen, kind of a little bit smaller, but if she goes against like an Attila, a Jen, and Angelica, which are huge, huge in a sense, compared to like normal, kind of bikini athletes, she's gonna have to bring a fuller look. If she brings this flat look against like a Jen, an Attila, or an Angelica, she's not gonna place well. If she brings this look, she's gonna be very well compared to those three at the Olympia. But if she brings this look in like a smaller pro show, and she's going against like let's say like, well, whatever, a Casey, for example, like I just mentioned before, she's gonna have problems because she's gonna look too big compared to the crowd that she's fighting against. So I mean, that if I was Ashley's coach, I guess that's what I would do. But it's really sucks because it's like, that's not an ideal thing. You kind of want like a blueprint for your athlete and be like, okay, like let's like, this is the look we want, this is the judges want. But it's kind of like hard if you have to like change your look every show based on who's competing. But I mean, this is what it looks like she has to do based on how she's placing. And I looked at all her shows that she's done this year and the past ones too, like for an hour after the show, and that is what I realized, that she just has to peak based on who she's competing against. And I want to know what you guys think in the comment, if that's like an accurate assessment. I think that is pretty accurate based on what I see, and I showed you guys proof of what I mean as well. So I'm not just kind of saying random things. The other thing too is, we know that Ashley's posing is a little bit weak. I'm going to show you guys. No one's ever gone into detail about this, and no one's ever really, kind of explained why. But I'm going to show you why the reason is. Her front and her back pose are fine. There's not much you can change here. I wouldn't really change anything. Maybe like a little bit. The legs kind of a little bit bent, and her feet are a little bit too close in this one specifically. But yeah, I'm going to show you what I mean. So I recorded this from the live stream today in the New York Pro. And Ashley, so her front and her back pose are great, but the problem is her weight. She doesn't know how to distribute her weight properly between her two hips when she transitions and when she walks. So that's something that that would be the first thing that I would work on if I was her. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So she kind of, instead of like having choreographed transitions, she kind of just does like these little steps to get into place. So this is front to back, which is, it's not that bad, but it's okay. But I'm going to show you here. So look at this. So she does a little step, and then there's like a little circle, So like you go back here, like when you're transitioning, you should never have your weight on both your legs. The only time you should have your weight on both your legs is if you're like in your back pose. So when you're walking, you should have your weight on like one hip at a time. When you're in your front pose, all your weight should be on your main leg, etc. So here she steps, all her weight's on both legs. She scissors herself here a bit with her leg here. Here again, knees together. Should never have your knees together here. When you're transitioning, you should never at any point on the stage have both your legs bent on the stage, or your transition is going to look weird. So if you have one of your legs locked, you're able to distribute your weight properly on this hip, and then you can move the other one and position yourself properly. So here she scissors herself again. Both feet are equal. Both legs are bent. And then try and do this little step, little step. So I'm going to show you guys, that is her weakness there. If she fixes that, she'll be a lot better. I'm going to show you guys what I mean between that one and then the top, some of the top girls at Olympia. So you're going to remember, let's go back 2 seconds to Ashley's transition so I can just show you quickly again so you get it. So this one, little steps, step, 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 get into position. Now watch this. This is the front pose at the Olympia. Watch. Look, watch this, watch this. All of them, right? Lift. So the head judge says, all right, ladies, face the back. All of them keep their hip up. Look at this. Hip up, hip up, hip up, hip up. All of them put their weight on their back leg. So you remember I said never put both your legs bent? Her leg in the back here is straight. Her leg in the back here is straight. Her leg in the back here is straight. Her leg back here is straight. So all the weight is on their back leg. Then they go. Now all the weight is on this leg. Leg, straight, all of them, right? And then they step forward. Look at that. You see the difference there? That is choreographed transitions that was planned. So they have very great weight distribution versus Ashley, where she kind of just steps in a circle and gets placed where she just ends up as far as like her front and back pose. So you guys can see like a big difference there. So once again, let's go back to the Ashley thing. Step, 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 step. Okay. So that's something maybe you guys can learn. I'm sure a lot of you guys will learn a lot from that alone. I'm giving a lot of information away for free. It took me, 5 years to learn. But I know my athletes are competing against these girls, and it could definitely make them place higher if they change these little things. But my goal here is not to really, obviously I want my athletes to win, but I mean, I prefer making the sport better and all the athletes better. If you like, I know you girls like that are watching these videos, like you go on stage and you really like you kill yourself in the gym and you diet and like these little things that can change you so much. Even if I'm not your coach, like I don't mind, I don't message me and be like, hey, what can I do here? Because I'm not going to respond to you. I'm not your coach. I don't want to give you. I'll never give you direct advice. But if I just give general advice on a video here and it like helps you out, and you know what, go for it. It's all good with me. So I don't mind there being higher quality athletes and better competitors. But at the end of the day, you should always listen to your coach and you should do what they tell you to do because they know you best. So that is the Ashley in this thing. I'm pretty happy with that analysis of her because I think that covers a lot of things that people may be confused of, but I think that goes really into great detail with her. So Gabby here looked great. So So Gabby realized that her upper body is a little bit too big. Let me show you. Maybe Pittsburgh Pro. I don't know. Did I only do top 3 there? No, she's not here. Anyway, so I think Gabby realized that her upper body was a little bit too big. At the last show that not the one that she beat Alessia, but the one before that, I said that she's kind of, I don't know if she pumped up her upper body here. She might have, but her foot here is a lot more profile and she's showing a lot more of her hamstring. Man, I really want to find that picture so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. I don't know if I have it though. Damn. Okay, let me actually it's worth it. I should be a little bit more prepared, but I'm doing this for free, so don't worry about it. So of course I got my pictures for NBC News Online. So here we go. Look at this. So I mentioned this show how her upper body was a little bit too big and that she's kind of hiding her her hamstring here. I don't know if she watched my video and realized this or not. I don't care, but I'm just happy that she actually fixed that and now she's placing higher because it's like much better for her. So here you can see her foot here. She's facing it forward very much so. It's like angled very much to the front here, pointing to the front, and she's hiding her complete hamstring. Here, you see a lot more fullness in her hamstring, a lot more fullness in her glute, her foot's a lot more profile, and her upper body is a lot more symmetrical. And I believe that's a big difference is why she's placing better now. Also, I mentioned at this show that she had her hair was covering her glutes and she cut it. So Yeah, this is a much better look for her. I definitely would not switch this pose. Yeah, I still wouldn't be training up her body, but this is a lot more symmetrical for her, to be honest. This is a very good Gabby here. It's a very good high potential athlete. So that is that. And man, this is an event. Let's show New York. This is a fourth place girl, Jessica. Man, should I go? I have to go back. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna tell you that I'm more prepared next time, but I'm not. So what I know is Jessica this show, even in her comparisons, she's tried to put her feet forward instead of angled. I don't know if I prefer that more actually. So Jessica, she's been very consistent this year, coming in like with a great shape, and she's like very tight and this perfect fullness. The only thing she has to do is grow her glutes. And what she changed from last show to this show is I noticed. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but she changed her foot position. So this was at the Pittsburgh Pro. Her feet were outwards, and I guess in her mind, what she thought was that if she puts her feet straight, that it'll bring her glutes out more and make her quads look smaller, which is true. But I don't know. It does look better in this picture with her feet straight. It does, because her quads look less big compared to her glutes. So I guess it was definitely a good call for her. So good job on that, to be honest. You're a pro. So you're gonna notice though, like the glutes from um first, second, and third, the size and density of the glutes really fall off after the third place girl. So like Gabby, let me show you what I mean. This is like top four. Like their glutes are all very similar. Like this is Ashley, this is Romina, this is the fourth place girl. Like her glutes are a little bit smaller, and then it kind of even drops off more than that. So like these girls, like if you want to get to the top Olympia, you got to have dense, full 3D glutes, guys. Like the judges want these full popping glutes. So like the fourth girl, like her glutes. Or sorry, that was Jessica. But the fifth girl, like her glutes are okay, but are they comparable to like Romina? No, right? Are they comparable to Ashley? No. Are they comparable to Gabby? No. And that is true for every single girl um, after the top three. So this is the same thing as like the Olympia. There's kind of like a big gap between like top six and then like the seventh. It kind of like falls off a little bit. So the girls like after the seventh place need to like grow a little bit more and improve a little bit more to kind of get pushed into that first call out there, because it's the same thing for this show. You can see the difference in the density of the glutes versus the top three girls versus the rest of the show, and that is why they're placing top three at New York Pro, guys. So it's funny because actually I've seen like Olympia athletes in person, and then I see like an amateur next to them. Like I had girls competing at like a pro show that are like high level Olympians, and like athlete, and then like an amateur the same show. And the difference in the body is insane. Like it makes sense because a top Olympian versus an athlete versus an amateur, but the difference, guys, is crazy. And you can see the difference here between like the top three New York Pro and like the rest. The quality and density of the glutes is where it's at. This girl, I don't know who this girl is exactly. She has such a. I feel like she won a show before. I don't know. I feel like she won a show when Steve Weinberger was head judging. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but I feel like I feel like I've seen this shape before. This front pose is super nice. She's very a super aesthetic shape here. I love how the waist kind of like her genetics of her waist kind of just ties into like her leg here. It looks here like she tried to. I examined every detail, guys, so I'm just bringing you in with me. It looks like she tried to like glue her suit here, and then it was like too big, so she like, or it was like too much covering glute, so she kind of like took the glue off, and that's why you have these lines here on the top of her glutes. Beautiful shape. She just needs more glute density. I mean, there's not the look is great. The front pose, she doesn't have to get any bigger, I don't think. Maybe a little bit more hamstring to fill it out with the glute here, but just more glute density. Like if you compare it to like a Romina, like that's all it is. Like look at the difference in the glutes. She just needs more time with her tension. That's all it is. Front pose is comparable though. Like she's a little bit weaker than Romina front pose, but it's a lot less of a difference than the back pose. So that's what most of these girls needs to work on. This girl, actually, I saw her on the live stream, and I thought her glutes were the best besides the people in the top three. Her biggest weakness, I love her. She's very beautiful, obviously. The suit's okay, but the weakness is the posing. Obviously, you can see in these pictures. In the comparison, it's the same thing. Her feet are too close together. She's not pushing out enough. I'm going to show you guys, I mean, after, and she's covering her glutes here. So let me show you in the, so look here, she's covering her glutes with her shoulder, her hand too, the whole time on the stage, and the face she's not smiling. Also, I noticed that a little bit too. You got to like look at the girl smiling, 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 and then kind of like a mean face. You gotta maybe she was like transitioning or whatever, but you need to be an actress on the stage, girls. You need to really like smile the whole thing on the stage, keep your glutes up, smile, and keep your stomach in. Those three things need to be constant from the second you step on stage till the end. It doesn't matter if you're on the sideline or in the middle of the first call out. So yeah, she's covering her glutes here, and in the back pose, the same thing. She's kind of like standing. Look at the difference with the width here. This is like what, like 6 inches versus Ashley's like a foot and a half. You know what I'm saying? So the shape is beautiful. Just fix her posing, and she's gonna be much, much, much better. This is like she can like maybe win a pro show, like if she just fixes her posing. I don't know who this girl is, but great potential. And I'm going to show what I mean about so some of these girls actually overarch their lower back, but this girl isn't overarching enough, and it's kind of like not making her glutes pop. So I would definitely work on her flexibility. Maybe she has good flexibility, but she's not showing it here. So look at the difference here. Look at Gabby's lower back. Okay, it's like very, very arch, which is this is the perfect amount of arch. I'm going to show you the difference between the perfect amount, not enough, and too much. So look at the difference in the lower back. It's a lot more straight up, you see, versus she has a really big arch here, Gabby, so she needs to push her glutes out a little bit more. Let me show you what too much arch looks like, actually. There's two girls, actually, that arched a bit too much. These two girls here. So these, I'll go to their physique assessment after on, but look, this is way too much arch. So what these girls are doing is they're pushing back so much that it's flattening the glutes here and it's widening the glutes. So let's compare these two girls to the winner, okay? So look at this. The winner here is standing up, perfect back arch. It's not too distracting. These two girls are pushing back so far, which they don't need to because they have really good condition. I don't know why they're doing that. Maybe they think that it's going to make them look leaner or something, but they're pushing back so far that it's making their glutes look flatter and wider. So like, look at the difference. See how this one's like round and then goes down. This one's kind of wide. And Callista has such good glutes. She does not need to do that. And also another thing too, Callista is doing. Actually, we'll get into that later. And this girl too. So I noticed in the live stream, her legs are huge. In the back pose, she definitely does not need to be pushing out that much. Her conditioning, she could be a little bit leaner here for sure. I think her actual conditioning was actually better at the last show, but she's pushing way too much, and her legs were. She was standing next to Romina at one point, and her legs were 2 times as big as Romina's legs because she's pushing too much, and Romina already has huge legs. So yeah. So that let me show you what I. So this is. So sorry. So this is the perfect arch. All right. This is not enough arch. And this is too much arch. You see the difference? Perfect, not enough, too much. So yeah, I'm giving you guys a lot of info on this. I'm giving you guys a lot of information in this video. So hopefully you have a pen and notepad and you take notes because this is some good stuff. So yeah, you guys can see the difference there. You got to have the perfect amount because if you're pushing back too much, you're gonna flatten your glutes, and if you're not pushing back enough, then your glutes are not gonna pop. So you got to have the sweet spot, and you got to really know what's best for you. So Hannah, did I miss anyone? No, this is good. Hannah Franz here. It's funny. She's such a great girl. I'm sure you guys all, if you've ever been with her backstage, she's a riot. She's super fun. I got so many messages saying, "Wow, she fixed her arm." Because like last video I mentioned how she had like her arm like kind of like a tree branch, and this time her arm is a lot more. Sorry, this is the wrong picture. Where is it? So yeah, you can see her arm here is a lot more relaxed on this one than the other show. And I got so many messages like, wow, she relaxed her arm, looks so much better. Even Hannah told me, she messaged me after I posted the video. She's like, wow, I'm gonna try the arm relax thing, and I think it really helped her, and it made her a lot more proportional versus the arms kind of sticking out here. See how kind of the arms sticking out were huge distance between the waist and the body, or sorry, the waist and the arm, and now it's kind of like a lot closer and a lot more symmetrical. Um, I feel like this is a very similar Hannah to the last show. As far as full, she maybe is a little bit fuller, but I don't think there's much of a difference, to be honest. I honestly I think she actually looked better last show. I know it's different lighting, but yeah, I think she looked, if she relaxed her arm here, I think it's the better. I really like her waist here, and I really like her legs, but the back shot, Jesus. The back shot, I don't know. I feel like yeah, it's definitely better here than this show. So this is on the right was this show versus last show. There's a little bit more of a time. I think she just needs to be leaner. I think she's not lean enough. Maybe in the legs, I've seen her a lot leaner, and she's trying to like maybe fill out a physique that's not lean enough in the legs, and then you're kind of like in the middle of kind of too soft and not full. So I think she was a little bit better at this show. But yeah, she's such a nice girl, such a crazy shape. Her coach is really awesome too. So yeah, I'm happy to see her, do well at the show. Her placing at this show is great. So if she continues to improve, continues to build her glutes, she's definitely a top 10 Olympian soon. So eighth Calista, I'll get into this girl. We already kind of went over it. Super, super nice shape. I really like her X frame. It's like I think she has the best X frame out of the entire show, to be honest. The way she's posing. Um, Yeah, there's not much I would change besides the front pose is pretty perfect. The back pose, two things. One, she's bending over too much, which we already discussed, and another thing too is she's opening her lats too much. So she's kind of like she's widening her glutes and she's widening her upper body. If she just stood normal like this one, she would have been so much better. So much better. I hope she fixes that. So look at Romina. Look at the back versus here. She's like spreading her lats here and pushing back. If she just stands like Romina, this girl would have placed probably in the top 4, top 5, I think. Maybe not top 4, but I think top. I think she would have came down 2 placings. Probably came in. Yeah, she would have been top 6. I really believe so. She really has perfect conditioning and already has great round glutes. She doesn't need to be pushing this much and opening her back. And like in a show like this where it's like it's a hard show, but you're not against top Olympians. If she's at the Olympia opening the back like this, the judges specifically said they don't want you to lat spread. You should have your back kind of relaxed, a little bit open to give you a little bit of like width in the shoulders. But if you're doing a full lat spread and you feel your lats engage, it's too much, guys. This girl, yeah, kind of already went over it. Needs to be a little bit leaner legs. Glutes really good. Stand taller. She's hiding her weight. Like she has perfect proportion in the front, right? Her legs perfect, and then the back, all you see is legs. Her upper body is too bent over that it just kind of looks smaller than her legs, and then she's flattening her glutes. She doesn't need to do that. So last girl, 10th place, Alicia, my girl. It is what it is. It was fair. I saw her in the live stream. I said you're off. Back shot is perfect. Can't get better than that. But the thing is it's her time of the month and that happens sometimes. So she's just the shoulders are fine, legs are fine. She's just watery in the waist. That's all. And I told her you're watery in the waist. That's exactly what the judge is going to tell you. You're watery in the waist. And she goes to Tyler after the show, and he's like, "You're watery in the waist." So I mean, it's very obvious to me. It was obvious to Tyler too, and that's why she placed 10th place. And plus she's done 5 shows in the last like 6 weeks, so flying to 5 different locations and your body gets tired. But now we have 2 weeks until the next show, so we're gonna like let her body relax a little bit. She doesn't have to jump on a plane in 2 days and compete at the next show, and she'll be off her time of the month now. So time of the month is not. It sucks when you're trying to do shows back to back to back because you can't really predict it, but um, I never would be like, oh, this is just like, it's just like, you're on your time of the month. So that's like, no, we learn something, what we're going to change for next time and how we're going to prevent this, even if she has to compete, during this time of the month on a future show. So this was not a waste, even though she didn't get points, it was not a waste because I learned a lot from this, even if it was kind of something out of our control. There's always something, it doesn't matter if you win a show or you place dead last, there's always something that you can improve on, and you should never let a show go to waste. So that's that. Let's actually go to. I didn't prepare this part, but I saw in the live stream Teresa Miller. So remember the girl I gave a shout out to last time? I saw in the live stream. I think she actually looked pretty good this show, to be honest. Better than last time. So let's check it out. I know it's a long video, but there's a lot I had to cover, and I think it's pretty useful. So, and honestly, I don't think I talked any slower. I'm sorry about that. So Teresa actually came 13th, which is I think the better placement she's ever gotten so far this year, and it's actually the hardest show, so that's great. Yeah, front pose pretty similar to last time. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, yeah, there's no back poses here, so yeah, that is what it is. So obviously that girl has great potential. I hope to see her excel in the future, but that's all for now. If you liked anything specific, write in the comments. If you want me to keep doing these, write in the comments. I appreciate your feedback, guys. We're learning together. This is, there's no coach and no athlete in the sport that is perfect. There's no coach that ever has, brought in perfect athletes over and over again. I think the only one would be like Hani Rambod, obviously, but he's very selective with athletes and doesn't coach anyone. He coaches like very specific top Olympians. So it's like, but even then, like, he's had mistakes with like, you know, athletes not coming in perfectly. Obviously, he's ridiculous, probably one of the best coaches to ever exist. But there is no coaches that are perfect, and we're all learning together, and everyone in the sport is learning together at the same time. The athletes too. So, I appreciate you guys watching, especially if you watch all of this. And I'll make a video next time there's a show. So, take it easy, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your week.